Man, can you even believe that 2023 is coming to a close? I mean, a lot of crazy things have been happening. I mean, Halloween has just passed, and Pokemon Laia has recently ended, and also tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Woohoo! Hooray! Oh yeah, that's pretty great. I'd say. What are you all thankful for? I bet you're all thankful for at least one thing. I mean, I can't imagine a world where nobody is thankful for anything. Well, I'll tell you what I'm thankful for. I'm just thankful that I'm alive, to be honest. And that I've gotten to know some really, really amazing people in my almost 22 years of existence, because my birthday is coming up next week. Woohoo! I'm going to be 22. Anyway, like I just said, I have gotten to know a lot of very special people over the years, and today I'm going to be talking about two people in particular. And, who are those two people, you may ask? I mean, you've probably read the title, so, I mean, it's kind of obvious. So, you read the title, you already know who they are. But, in case you're blind, and computer screens in general don't provide Braille. I'm sorry to anybody who's blind out there. I'm just going to tell you. My two best friends, Aurora and Simon. You may know them. You may not know them. You can go to, since YouTube removed the channels tab, this is going to be a little harder to explain, but if you go to my home tab, scroll down and look under the Friends section, you will see their channels right there. You will see Aurora's channel second on the list, and you will see Simon's channel third on the list. They are between Tyra's channel and Roy's channel. So that's what I wanted to address. Now, I'll bet you're wondering, what was life like with Simon and Aurora by either one of my sides? Well, I, Wyatt Olinger, am going to share that with you today. Kind of like a whole timeline thing, if you will. So, here's how it all came to be with these two. So, Simon is who I met first. And, I think how it started was, aside from riding the same bus, me and living on the same street, me and Simon were originally not in the same grade. Like, for instance, like, when I was in first grade, Simon was in kindergarten, so Simon is an entire year younger than I am, just to make it clear. And, however, during his early days, Simon was picked on quite a lot. There was I think he told me this before, but he was picked on by a whole horde of these jerks in the same grade he was originally in, or in this case, the grade below me. Like, these idiots squirted hand sanitizer in his eyes, and they rammed him into a tree. Like, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrendous what these guys were doing to him. However, I kind of felt bad for him, so I just kind of went up to Simon one day and said, "Hey, you good?" And then I just kind of took him under my wing, and the rest is history. Now, Simon and I could never be in the same class together because, we weren't in the same grade. But that all changed one faithful day. I think I was in the 4th grade, so this would have been I want to say 2011, and Simon was in the 3rd grade. If you guys think my channel just depicts Simon as an absolutely high IQ know-it-all, well, he's also like that in real life to an extent. You see, Simon is straight A's, big brain. I mean, he's way smarter than me. Yeah. So, Simon skipped the 3rd grade entirely because, in case you don't know, in school, whenever a specific student is too smart for the grade that they're in, they get to go skip it and go up to the next one. And that's what happened with Simon. He was so smart that he skipped 3rd grade. So how it started out is I was sitting in my 4th grade classroom one faithful day, and then all of a sudden, Simon comes wandering in, and at first I'm like, what the hell? He's not supposed to be here. What? He's supposed to be in the 3rd grade room. What the heck? I was flabbergasted. And initially, Simon wasn't officially part of our grade yet. He only came in occasionally. And then some time passed, and then, bam, he was officially one of us. And that's how Simon ended up getting put into the same level as me. I mean, to think, Simon is a whole year younger than the rest of the class of 2020 was, and this dude managed to get his diploma before 2/3 of my entire high school class, which was 250 students, need I mind you. At the school I went to, it was pre-K through 8th grade, so I was there for a whole decade. Same building, pre-K to 8. There was only 50 students per class, but at my high school, there was 200 to 300 per class, and that is crazy. So, really, Simon started off as somebody who got picked on 24/7, so I felt bad for him, took him under my wing, and that was that. And then, after graduating high school, Simon and I were not in touch for a while. That was until March 2021, when on my video, I'm Tired of Nonsense comments, which a lot of you really should watch. I mean, I have a rule saying the comments have to relate to the video. I got a comment from somebody named The Turtley One, and I remember Simon using that username even back in as far as 2018 or 17. That's how far back I remember it. And then he was like, "Is this a random comment?" And then he replied to himself. And I was like, yeah, I wish people would be better more. And I was like, wait a minute, is that you, Simon? And then Simon said, "I want a better way to contact you." And that was that. Now Simon randomly texts me stuff every now and then, because he gave me his phone number. Oh. Sorry, my throat was a little dry. Yeah. And now, here's the whole thing with Aurora, whose channel is on the screen right now. Before I get to that, I just want to mention that, as you can see, Aurora is currently at 99 subscribers. So, would any of you be willing to help me out and get her to 100? I'm sure that would make both her and me pretty satisfied. Alright. Okay, so now on to my history with Aurora Leverett. And boy, this is quite the tale. So, the year was 2014, and I believe it was the tail end of my 6th grade year. I was sitting in, what was it? I was in science class. I finished my work early, so I was working on a PowerPoint. I was just kind of animating a PowerPoint. Basically, similar to the Olinger tunes today, except this was way back in 2014, because remember, I've been animating in PowerPoint for like half my lifetime. Have you seen my old PowerPoints video? And I was just kind of animating a little movie in PowerPoint, similar to the Olinger tunes, but essentially a very primitive version of them. And then I looked up and saw Samantha and this random girl I've never seen before wandering around, and I think Samantha was showing her around. And at the time, I was like, oh, is that a new kid? Okay, that's pretty great. And then Samantha and this mysterious girl walked right by me, and the new girl noticed my PowerPoint and said, "Did you make that?" And I was like, yeah, I did. And she was like, "Wow, that's awesome." And I was like, "Oh, thank you," because, kind of like Simon, I was bullied a bit during my elementary school years too. Like, one particular classmate kept picking on me, all because of how unusual I was compared to the rest of the Daydream team. So then I learned that this new girl's name was Aurora, and I was just like, oh, that's a pretty name. And I mean, I still fondly remember that day, the day Aurora and I first met, because she was so nice to me in a world where before I met Aurora, I was getting kind of bullied pretty often. My reputation was still pretty good, but most of the bullies were actually the same ones picking on Simon. They picked on me a little too. So if you're ever feeling down, just remember I was bullied too, and look where I am now. So Aurora managed to stick around for the rest of my 6th grade year, and it was pretty fun getting to spend time with her and Simon at the tail end of the year. And then over the summer, I fondly remember the last day of 6th grade, we went to like this party in the gymnasium, because back then the gymnasium was a separate building from the rest of the school, and the gym was very old and it was starting to fall apart. And I had some fond memories with Aurora and Simon in there. And that day was the last day I ever went into that gym, because over the summer they tore it down to build a newer, less dilapidated gymnasium, But over the summer, I kind of forgot Aurora existed. And then, first day of 7th grade, she was like, "Hey, Wyatt, how's it going?" And I was like, wait, who are you again? And then she reminded me who she was. I was like, oh, yeah, you. Yeah, the really nice girl. And then Aurora managed to stick around for a while. Like, even some of the teachers thought, wow, she is so nice to him. But then one day, about a quarter into the year, Aurora told me she was going to move to another school. And I was kind of devastated, because no one had been as nice to me as her. Well, not counting Simon. But then Aurora said, wait, maybe I'm not going to a new school after all. But guess what? She did anyway. And the rest of my school year kind of sucked because of that. And then I never saw Aurora in person again until August of 2016, where I was a freshman at a new high school. And then Aurora walked up to me and said, hey, remember me? And that was probably the happiest I've ever been in all of high school. Like, reuniting with Aurora was just so great. And Aurora managed to stay the whole freshman year. I mean, me, her, and Simon all sat at this round table at the end of the cafeteria. It was just the three of us at that table, and that was the table for the cool kids, the 3 coolest kids in all of high school. And then Aurora even still managed to stick around, beginning of sophomore year, and then boom, she was gone again. She moved away again, and the rest of my sophomore year kind of stunk. On the bright side, at least I had other friends. I mean, okay, I'm not going to talk about Aurora or Simon for this next part, but in my graphic design class, sophomore year of high school, I was in this graphic design class, and I was in it, so me and 3 other students formed our own little Pokemon fan club, because we were all Pokemon fans. And guess what? I was the only boy. The 3 other students were girls. I bet some of you are all jealous of me now. I mean, that's how you get the ladies. You get the Poke-Nerd ladies by starting a fan club with them. And then I didn't see Aurora at all junior year. I mean, I didn't really talk to Simon that much either. And I was wondering, wonder if Aurora is ever going to pop back up. And then all of a sudden, first day of senior year, she was back, and I was happy. And this time, Aurora was here to stay. Let me put it to you this way. She was here, and she was having it, okay? Let me tell you. And, of course, my drawing of Aurora is on the screen right now. But at this time, Aurora managed to stay the entire senior year. In fact, she really believed in me. So, like, I always had an inferiority complex, but Aurora was always there to cheer me up. But then, March 2020 struck. The COVID pandemic forced everyone to not go to school and stay home. And that meant no more Aurora for the third time. At this point, circumstances like this constantly separating me from Aurora was starting to get very annoying, and I didn't want that anymore. However, I did get to briefly see her and Simon at graduation, so that was pretty fun. I mean, Aurora and I are kind of still in touch, kind of message each other. She told me that she's told all of her other friends about times she shared with me, and I have told all of my other friends about times I've shared with her, so you can kind of see where that's all going. Yeah. So, shoot, I forgot what I was going to say next. Let me think. Oh yeah. So, if you're all worried about Aurora, she's thankfully doing well. I may consider checking in on her again sometime, but, you know, it is what it is. So, Aurora and Simon both have channels like I do. Except their upload schedules are way slower. And that is because, unlike me, they have other things going on in their life. I mean, it's pretty clear because, you know, I've just lately been curled up at my house, doing nothing but making PowerPoints, eating microwaved meals, and playing Angry Birds. And that's the life I've been living these last couple months. And it's not really that fun when neither of your besties are around. So, let's take a look at their channels now. First, Simon's. So, Simon's most popular video is a Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared edit called Don't Hug Me, I'm Pitzer YTP. It's at, hang on, let me check. This is currently at, the phone I'm using is really slow. It's at 12,000 views. If you want to be more exact, 12,511. 246 likes. That's pretty awesome. He's got a Blood No Damage series. And he's got how to create found footage horror. Here I'll play it so you can hear his actual voice.
Found footage horror. Horror that's made from just video.
That's from his tutorial on found footage horror. And that's at 5,000 views. Way to go, Simon. And he's also got a show ranking all of my Olinger tunes. I mentioned that in the first episode of the podcast. Like, here's him congratulating me on 400.
So, Wyatt recently reached 400 subscribers. Yay!
Who's actually 403, but you know, knock on wood. It's at 730 something now. 732, was it? Yeah. And Simon has not uploaded since Olinger Tunes tier list, and that is because he's doing other things. Don't worry, Simon and I are still regularly in touch, so he's doing just fine. And now Aurora's channel, which only has 6 videos, and her last upload was a whopping 10 months ago. That is longer than the time it takes for a baby to be conceived and then eventually born. So, Aurora's channel is mostly just, I'm looking at the playlist section now. She has something called Poetry Friday here. And, she's got, like, table scraps, green tea extracted energy, and Lonely Phantom, and others. Like, okay, so, they're all, decently long. Like, I mean, it's amazing what time can do is 12 minutes and 13 seconds. So, yeah, you get almost, that's about how long an average episode of Rated E for Epic is. You basically just get 12 minutes of pure Aurora-ness. Is that a word? It is now. I coined the term. Like, looking down here, blooper OMG. It's only 9 seconds long, and it appears to be like a outtake from green tea extracted energy. Like, it's only 9 seconds here. Just, like, she fumbles up her words. Like, here, just listen.
Restless fool on a morning dreary. $3 is a large fay to pee.
Yeah, I don't blame her. I get my words fumbled up too. I mean, I've uploaded a blooper thing on my own channel once. So, what was it? It was, I think it was, oh yeah, Wyatt Forever on TV video. I'm doing it now too. Look, man, just because English is my native tongue does not mean I'm good at speaking it. So, I did a Wyatt Forever on TV video back at the beginning of 2022, and I kept messing up so much that I ended up posting the bloopers a little while later. Yeah. And she's got a community tab, and it's not surprising, it's totally empty. But could you all subscribe to Aurora's channel anyway to help her get to 100? I'm sure that would be very well appreciated. Oh, man. It's really nice that I get to have, like, Aurora and Simon in my life. And, that's just great, you know? When you think about it, me plus Aurora equals Simon. Mostly because, you know, Aurora's number 6, I'm number 1, he's number 7. 6 plus 1 equals 7. That was actually a coincidence. But, you know, it is what it is. So, it appears that we are getting to the end of this, podcast now, and you know what, I've played a video from Simon, I've played a video from Aurora, but I still need to play a video from myself to complete the trio. How about this one?
There's something.
Okay, bye.